January 3rd, 2017 meeting of the Limestone County Commission. Any public comment, Patty?
We do not have any.
Great. Could you call roll, please?
Commissioner Hill,
Here.
Commissioner Turner,
Here.
Commissioner Black,
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here. All present. Commissioner Black, would you lead us in our pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving along. Thank you, Commissioners. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda. I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from December 19th and 28th, 2016. Do I hear such motion?
I make a motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Turner. I have a second by Mr. Hill. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Motion passes unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to approve claims in the amount of $1,975,826.37 as submitted to the commission. Do I hear such motion?
Make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black,
Aye.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item on the resolutions in order, I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution to submit a grant to ADECA for funding through the Recreational Trails Program on behalf of the Limestone County Commission and the Limestone County Parks and Rec Board to be used to repair 2 bridges, correct erosion problems on the trail, and add 2 interpretive signs, one at Sulphur Creek Trestle and one at Elkmont on 80-20 match. Grant amount is $128,800 with a $32,000 match for a project amount of $161,000. Do I hear such motion?
I got a question. Can we have Mike Nave talk to us about this before we do anything? Can we do that?
Either that or we can get a motion second.
Need a
then I'll
motion
open
in a
it.
second to
Then I'll
discuss
open
it.
up for discussion.
I make a motion.
So I have a motion and at the same time from Mr. Harrison and Mr. Hill that I'll ask for a second. So you, I'm sure you.
I got it.
Now discussion. Mr. Nave, would you,
Yes.
if you wouldn't mind, if you,
Let me have Sonia tell you, explain something about the grant, if that's okay with y'all, and then I'll pursue the options that,
That'll work.
in
Yeah.
my opinion, that I think we should look at.
Well, when I brought this before y'all last Wednesday, number one, it was for $151,000. And if you'll see now, it's $161 because at that time, I did not have a ballpark estimate for that assessment, accessibility assessment. So I got that. Number two, I also talked to the representative at ADECA, and the in-kind, which used to be half cash, half in-kind, now the match money can be all in-kind if need be. So that's 2 important things I want you to remember. What was the other thing? I think that's all it is as far as the grant. And I want you to remember this is a pre-application, which means that we're just putting it in now. And if we get chosen, then we have to put in a second application, a bigger, more involved one, which we will get better estimates, and the budget will be revised to accommodate those estimates. Any questions on that?
so technically you're saying like the $10,000 clear and grubbing, if we did that, that's 100%.
Pardon me?
You know, and I don't see it here in the booklet, but the part that you had given us passed out was the estimates.
Those are just
Right.
Right.
Like,
Those
yeah,
are
that
just
10,000, and when it 10,200 or 10,000 for clearing and grubbing.
erosion correction was 20. Clearing and grubbing was 10.
Right, that's what I said, 10. So
Uh,
if we did the clearing and
mobilization was
grubbing, that's
10.
10,000 of the 30,000 of the 32,000.
And then the repair of the uncovered bridges was 90 for the
So
two.
basically, if the commissioners elected to take any of their people and do the clearing, grubbing, and the erosion stuff, that would basically make your match,
We can count that as the
which would be
in-kind.
about 30,000 according to what the estimate, which is,
The park board will give
Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
And so, or if we have to put a 20 or whatever it is, then, we still might split it. They have committed to 10,000.
Well, if y'all got 10, that's down to 20. That'll, if you do the in-kind, that just about takes care of it. don't it? And this is early in the process anyway.
And it may not be that it costs $161,000 after we find out about the second. So if we agree to do this, it's not saying we're not locked in on the contract for the first step. We're locked in on the contract when we reach that second step.
Right. What you're saying with this resolution is, if we get to the second step, you agree to
Use the money.
secure the match.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does commit us to that, whatever it is on that second,
That pre-app.
that, yeah. That, it is a commitment.
On the first one or the second one?
Well,
We're
It's a
committed to
commitment
doing the
with
project.
pre-app, that if we're chosen to go on to the second stage, that you agree to secure the match. Doesn't matter whether the security is in kind or money.
Okay.
I got another question, and I just want to be clear on what all we're trying to accomplish. You said a $10,000 for an assessment. Is that for ADA compliance? Or
Yes.
what? Okay.
What they want, what they're going to require for all trails in the state of Alabama is, and it's got a name, and I'm sorry, but I don't remember what that name is right now. But it's an assessment of your trail, and they want and put signage up for the people who need accessibility, like, wheelchair accessible at this point, or what kind of trail it is, gravel or whatever. It's just so that they will know that they can maneuver this trail.
Also, some motorized vehicle wants somewhere, that's a handicapped person. I can't question.
You mean like the
In a
electric?
wheelchair.
But that's essentially signage, right?
Well, you have to have an assessment done, and they have to have the linear feet and a map of it and all that, and then they recommend what signage you need where.
Who's requiring that, and for what?
ADECA is now,
For
for
okay.
all the recreational trail programs.
Okay. Is that for, or
I mean-
if we don't comply with that, then we don't get any ADECA future funding? Is that it?
Well, they haven't said that, but on the application, it's each part of the application is worth points, and the ones with the most points get the grant funding.
And this is a 5 point,
This
right?
is a 5-point.
Okay.
Yes.
Steve had an idea, Mr. Turner did also, if we don't qualify or we don't get the grant, Parks Board give 10, y'all give 10, and the labor, we can get a lot of it done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, that's an option.
yeah.
That's
But
just,
the South End Bridge, guys,
Gotta.
it's gotta be fixed.
Yeah.
man, I'm confident that we can handle the grubbing, and if there's any cross drains that we talked about earlier that
Yeah.
need installed, we can do all that. You didn't appear to think that it was going to take over the $20,000 to make the needed corrections. I mean, because we discussed some things that were wanted versus what was actually needed.
Right. We initially were gonna put bathrooms at Elmont, and the city council there wasn't exactly for that. Richard Martin went to the meeting, I did not, so.
Now,
So that's all.
this estimate also is covering those bridges. Now, it depends on whether or not you want these bridges covered. Of course, it'd be less if they were just repaired and not covered, but they last longer. The
Well,
two
how long
that
were
are
they
covered-
built? How
pardon me?
long ago was it the ones were built were
10
replacing
years?
now?
10 years?
It's over 10 years.
Yeah, it's over.
Ten.
The three north, and if you saw one of them in Stanley Sink.
Oh, yeah,
They're okay, because they're 4x6 boulders. The one on the south end is 120 feet long, and they're soldiered 2x4s, and there's no drainage, and it rots.
Yeah.
Stick his foot through it.
Be a lawsuit.
It needs to be repaired. There's one on south. I went up and looked at the one on south of Huber,
Yes.
and that's the worst one. That's one that needs immediate attention.
Right.
How long is the process for the grant? When we would know something?
This grant is due in Friday, and
but-
it'll take about at least 3 months for them to read them and process it. So they'll probably let us know late spring, early summer. And then usually it's fall by the time we find out for sure for the second grant.
That trail is used a good bit. I hear a lot of good things about the trail. I think the bridges ought to be covered for the longevity of the bridge. And I think that probably if we had a log up there of people that's been down it, I think you'd be real surprised at the people that uses that trail, horses, bikes, or whatever, walking.
I think we estimated last year there was like 40,000 people.
Well, I mean, it's on the National Rails Trails Conservancy website, if I know what I'm talking about, I probably don't, but I know there's something like that, and. So they, in our website, they come off the interstate, walk, and just go to some other trail, it's just part of their tour of trails.
All right, more importantly, we're talking next fall. Does that bridge need some work done on it now just to get us to next fall?
Yes.
Well, we need to do that too then.
I've been putting, as I said, some 3/4 inch plywood in it,
It
But
needs
you know,
a
anything
different
you do
design
before grant.
for the horse.
Oh, that's fine.
It's
We
not-
just need it for safety, if nothing else now, at this point. Even if we don't get the grant, we need to fix it before next fall, because if boards are rotten, we either need to close it or we need to fix it.
We can take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be paying for anybody's
Horse going through it.
horses.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia.
And that's my problem. I went up there and looked at both those bridges that we're talking about, and I went north of Veltmont too, and I see a couple of places where we need to put cross drains in, but that's not a couple of thousand, 2,000 or 3,000 would get that. And replacing the boards on that bridge. I mean, I went up there, I just don't see $161,000 or $150,000 in there. Now, I don't know about the ADA thing and what the implication of that. I mean, there's nothing, signage is just gonna be, that doesn't cost hardly anything.
Well, that doesn't bother me. I don't care if it says 185,000. I mean, somebody's gonna get that grant money. It's gonna be Lauderdale, Limestone, Morgan, somebody in Wisconsin. There's gonna be somebody somewhere. So that doesn't bother me. I just want to know how much money we were gonna have to spend, because that grant's out there and it's an ADECA grant, and somebody's gonna apply for it and somebody's gonna get it. We just might as well be the ones getting it. I know where you're going with it, that it
Yeah.
doesn't cost that much, but
We could go out there and do it and have it done 2 months for 10% of this,
I just want to say one thing. They love our Richard Martin.
Yeah, and I do too, and we ought to maintain it. I'm not saying that we ought to maintain it. We ought to maintain it. We're required to maintain it, and we need to do it in a good manner. It needs to be a design that will last. But I'm just saying that, we get this money, but these grants are good, but it usually results in ADECA gets their funding from where? Usually from a federal grant. Why are we $20 trillion in debt? It will bring money into it. It's been into our local businesses, but it's debt-based money. And somebody has to pay for it eventually. And I'm saying we could do this for 10%. Why don't we just go ahead and fix it with our money and be done with it?
Stanley, you got this trail is in your district,
Exactly.
so I'm going to lean towards whatever your suggestion is. I'm not guaranteeing nothing. I'm just saying it's your district. You know
Don't
what the
lean
people
to-
up there
Chief,
want.
you've heard that before, I'll bet,
I
somewhere in
talked
your
to
career, hadn't
I
you?
talked to President-elect Trump, and he's really concerned about these bridges.
Well, I'm kind of going along with as far as the grant. Somebody's going to get the money. I mean, it's going to a good cause. I mean, there's a lot of people uses that trail. We get all kinds of comments about it. I know at the Antique Tractor Show, I get all kinds of positive comments. about the trail. There's people that comes and stays in a hotel and uses the trail and then go somewhere else. They eat out. I mean, and it's not, the money's not all going out on the trail. It brings money in on certain occasions. And you can't hardly buy a house downtown Elkmont at reasonable price because people wants to be where they can walk to the trail. I mean, it's just that simple. And it is a good thing. Ain't no doubt about it. Thank you. Needs fixing.
I agree. And this would get, if we went ahead and fixed it, would be, what, 8 months ahead of the game, you know, instead of waiting around for all the grant stuff to go. That's my point. I'm for that trail. I went up there. It's a nice trail, and I'm for maintaining it. But I'm just how we maintain it, and how we can do it at the best cost, and with no debt.
There's no more discussion. We have a motion and a second to approve this resolution as submitted to the commission. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison,
Nay.
Commissioner Turner,
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-1. Next item on the agenda, I'll ask for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the chairman to execute an agreement with the state of Alabama and the city of Decatur to administer the 3C transportation planning process for the Decatur metropolitan planning area. Do I hear such motion?
I make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Black. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There's no contracts, agreements, or grants to come before the commission, no budget revisions, no emergency purchases, no board appointments. This time, can I do both these together, Pamela?
Yes, you may.
I'll ask for a motion to award bids for gasoline and diesel to W.H. Thomas Oil Company for 20 cents margin over rack, and for printing checks for the Sheriff's Department for Printers and Stations Incorporated for $387.03. Do I hear such motion?
Make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, personnel actions. I'll ask for a motion to employ Anthony Gardner as Engineering Assistant 3 Bridge Inspector. Do I hear such motion?
I make the motion.
Second.
I got a bunch of people made the motion, and I got one
They
second by
just
Mr.
do.
Turner. So, there's any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to approve family medical leave for Matthew Hayes beginning February 1, 2017, and ending February 16, 2017. Do I hear such a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Turner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion?
Where's Matthew Hayes work?
For the sheriff.
Okay.
He's a jailer.
That's what I thought.
There's no more discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to grant the merit increases that have been submitted to the commission.
So move.
I have a motion by Mr. Hill. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? There's no discussion. I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. At this time, we will move to the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything for you today, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. Mark, anything you want to, couldn't shut you up to work session, so. We've decided it's the chair. Moving on to other business, I'll ask for a motion to sell 2003 Ford Explorer, Unit 600-1 on GovNews for the engineering department. Do I hear such motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Black, a second by Mr. Turner. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Our next item, I'll ask for a motion to transfer the following from IT to Engineering Department, 2006 Ford F-250. Do I hear such motion?
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next item, I'll ask for a motion to approve 2017 bingo permits for the Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 51, and VFW Post 4765. Do I hear such motion?
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion by Mr. Harrison. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Black. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Harrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Turner.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. There's no scheduled public hearings to come before the commission. Robert, is there anything you wanted to say? I know you got here just, we started right on time.
I'll just say that I haven't been to the courthouse probably since right before the holiday, but I did get reports from the contractors that they were moving equipment in, and I believe they've had a couple of court cases in the building.
Mhm. It's open today.
Yeah, we did receive the closeout documentation on the roof. I went through that information. I've returned that back to Martin and Covey, so they have that information now. So.
Great. Thank you, Robbie. That's the kind of courthouse updates I like. There in, it's done.
I don't want any more.
Now we'll move to report of officers. Commissioner Hill?
Yes, I'd like to back up to the trails again. For those folks that's never been to the trail, it's a real good experience if you like outdoors. If you like to walk, run, if you like to ride horses, it is a good place to do that. And it's about what, 11 miles, 10.3, and it's a good place without a lot of interruptions as far as crossroads. And I do think that it would be good if we could get the grant. If we got the grant, we'd know where that grant money was going. Sometimes grant money goes for other things like counting how many times a hummingbird wings fly in a second or something. So we'd know where this money's going, is all I'm saying.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Turner?
Yeah, we've got a few places out in the district where we replaced pipe that went under the road. But right now, they've just currently been backfilled with gravel, but we hope to try in the next 2 or 3 weeks to get some asphalt over them if we find some days that's fit to do that work.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Black?
Later this week, I think Friday, we're expecting maybe some ice and some snow, and I think it's a pretty good chance of it. Talking about the weather, so we'll be getting set up and getting ready for that. Other than that, we're just doing our daily duties, working a little bit down at Cal Ford.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Harrison?
We're continuing work on the LNS, getting that concrete, busting it up and using it on Ben Stanford Road and also on Motocross Road. We've got some ravines there that are washing out, and we're using that material there. Just want to let the other commissioners know that Terry Bob and Ben Pope and I are traveling down to Elmore County again in the morning. Did I speak his name? Pepper. I don't know why I called him Pope. Got Pope stuck in my mind. Ben Pepper, excuse me. But we're going down to Elmore County to visit Richie Byer and taking measurements for converting one of our single axle dump trucks into a distribute Portland cement for road stabilization. They will be working again tomorrow, so if any of y'all want to see that process, you're welcome to go with us. It is a good process. It's one that I think that we should be adopting for our secondary roads to and some of our base failures on our plant mix roads. So anyway, I invite y'all to go with us and to see it.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
it.
Thank you, sir. Thank everybody for coming today. Chief, always good to see you. Representative Sheriff Department, Brandon, Representative 911. Mike Nave, it's always a pleasure.
Mr. Positive.
Yeah, we're hoping everybody has a great 2017. Nice to kick it off. With that, we'll recess until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, January 11, 2017, at the Washington Street Courthouse Annex, 310 West Washington Street, Athens, Alabama. Y'all have a great day and a great week.